Hello, Judy from Thistledew Creations. Welcome back and thanks for joining me today. I've been sitting here for about a half an hour trying to figure out what to work on. So I finally just pulled out some artist trading card blanks that I have pre-made. Got like a big stack of them, probably about 8 inches tall, stacked up, of these cards that I've cut. I've covered one side with scrapbook paper. The back side is cereal box or something like that on most of these. There's one that has coffee dyed on the back already. It's an older one. So I thought I would start with this 6-pack of sort of a pale floral beigeish gray background. And they are cereal box on the back, which I could just leave and ink. But I think I want to cover the backs with paper bag. So I've got that ready. Opened up my paper bag and have it ready to glue these two. So normally what I do to glue them is I'll take my glue stick and go all over the backs. Nice thick coat of glue stick glue. And then I will put tacky glue around the edges. So let's just do those real quick. I do have a bit of a plan in my head. Obviously, I've got a few supplies out. I'm going to try to stick to what I've got in my head, but you never know. We might veer off in a different direction. Sometimes I make one before I start my video, but today I just thought I'll just film what I'm doing. Other people that get stuck might find it helpful to see that you just have to start. That's what my post said yesterday. Just start. Just start, just make something. And then for me, the first one that I make of anything usually isn't the best. It might be okay, but usually improve upon it each time I do it. So just depending on whether I allow myself to do each of these different. I kind of had it in my head that they'll all be very similar, but we'll see. So I just go around the outside edge and then a squiggle through the middle. And then I'll glue all these down with enough room in between them to get my scissors in. And this step really isn't necessary. I have done plenty where I've just simply inked the backs. Like you can take your... On this color, I'd probably use my ground espresso. You can just take that and ink the back and just sort of wipe it right on. And it browns it up and warms it up a little bit. But I just thought I'll show you the whole process that I would normally do. And I do like to put paper on the back. So I found this Elmer's glue stick from Dollarama works just fine for me, especially when I go around it with the tacky glue. It gives me an overall, every square inch is covered in glue, and then this tacky glue ensures that the edges stay stuck down and through the middle as well is just sort of reinforced. If the glue stick ever dried out, it's got some more glue holding it down. These want to curl on me for some reason today. Sometimes it's a good idea to do this process the night before and set them under something heavy. Whether you cut them or not, you can just glue them up and set them under something heavy, all attached, and then cut them out the next morning. But today we'll just do it all at once. The other thing about the tacky glue is it gives you the chance to slide it around a little bit before it sort of sucks down to the page and you can't move it. I like that part. But you can see, even though this is white, you can probably see that there's a fair bit on there. And I did find some of the first ones that I did where I didn't do the tacky glue after they dried for a while, like a few weeks, the pages were coming away from the edges. So when I started using the craft glue around the outside, they stay stuck down a lot better. These ones are really curling on me. I have to go over them with the bone folder. This is the last one. I'll get this one glued down and then we'll start cutting them out and do some burnishing. And I'm thinking of doing mostly ink decorating today. See how those are curling up? I find that strange. They don't always do that. Let's see that one there. Doesn't want to stay stuck down. So I'll get them away from the paper bag. And I just let my scissors follow along the edge. And then I'll turn them upside down and take my bone folder and just press. It's working a little bit of glue out the edges, which is kind of what you want anyway. Get that glue right out to the edge. And I can see just a tiny bit of my paper. It had a red logo on it there. And when I ink it, that'll go away, but just try to get it cut as close as possible to the edge of the card. And it is like a cardstock because it is a cereal box. And you can also just take it in your fingers when it's a little bit squishy from the glue and just kind of bend it the opposite direction. I'm trying to use up a bunch of paper bags because my sister and her family keep giving them to me and I haven't been able to keep up to using them. So I'm going to start using them for backing cards and stuff as well as making journals. I do like the craft paper color, so there's no reason not to use it. Doesn't have the same feel as coffee dyed paper, but it has a good feel to me. And this neutral background, I think, will look really good with it. And I usually do my ATCs in multiples, so sometimes just 2 or 3, but if I have a set of 6 backing cards that are similar, I will sometimes do them in sets of 6 or more. You might have seen my recent post with altered playing cards, and there was quite a few, like maybe a dozen in that set. They don't usually end up staying together, but I like to be able to trade multiples. If someone wants 2 the same, I'm not going to go back and make them another one. So I always do more than one, and I figure if it turns out nice, they're sometimes in demand anyway. So this one's really curling. It just occurred to me what I could have done is put a little opening up book page sort of thing on the back. Maybe I'll do that on the next set. See, as you start working, the ideas start to come to you almost right away. At least they do for me. So I'm going to work on one and put the rest of these under my mat here, upside down for a few minutes while I get the first one done. That's a great way too, if you have a heavy craft mat, is to just use it to flatten stuff. Because you would be surprised what just a half an hour underneath there does. Even that's not a lot of weight on it. Okay, so what I had kind of in my mind, that doesn't look all that much different. For these ones, I think rounded corners. So I'll start by rounding the corners with the smallest round over. There have been instances where I felt that square edges were fine, but here I think I want rounded corners. And I want to ink them with the green. Pretty sure I want to ink them with the green. I'll decide that at the end. So first thing I was thinking, I got a bit of a floral background, but it's very subtle. And I thought I would add this very dainty music stamp over top of it. And I think I'm going to just do it in the hickory smoke. I was thinking black, but I don't want it too dark. I want it to stay fairly subtle. So I'm going to just ink this up. It's kind of an ivory and a grayish beige, the background color. I don't have anything lighter beige than Vintage Photo, so I thought maybe this gray would work as just sort of like a shadow of some music. Let's see how it does. Only you kind of lose the floral element, but I do like the color of that, so we'll go with it. See how the first one turns out. And then the next idea that I had was this stamp of some lavender, and I thought I would use the peeled paint and the Alina Craft lavender. So I'll put the lavender, of course, where the flowers are. And I'll go ahead and do the bow in lavender too. And then down below the bow, I'll do the peeled paint for the stems. And I'm not sure how dark that will be, but let's do it. We're going to put it down in the corner here. I want it to be kind of a soft, pale card, which is not really what I normally do. I usually do bolder colors, but that's pretty. And then I thought I would use some of these wooden butterflies, and I've already colored one with the Alina Craft Old Purple Ling Palace. I didn't want the same color as the lavender, but it's almost too big. So maybe I'll check and see if I have a smaller one here, which I think I do. I've already pulled out all the big ones, but I do have these smaller ones, which might be better. 6 of those. I think these ones were all from my niece Kimberly. And so what I did was I just rubbed the ink pad onto the butterfly directly. Like that. And then I'll use the 3-in-1 to glue that down. pretty good blob in the center, and then along the outside edges of the wings. And I'll put that up here sort of on an angle. And then what? I'm thinking that it does need something else down in the other corner, so maybe something with a bee. Oh, do I have bees? Every kind of bee you can imagine. Trying to keep in mind my subtle theme. So like a black bee isn't really going to be what I want. There's some gold ones, but I don't think I have 6 of them. So whoever cut me those, tell me what you want to swap for. I guess I could afford to buy myself a little bee punch. I haven't, because I have quite a few bee cutouts that people have sent me. I think the gold one is good, but I only have a couple. I have some white ones. They're the same, so I could do some with some ink on them. That's what I'll do. That's a good size. And that's in my candy box drawer. It's upcycled. So I've got, I like the gold ones. Just gonna glue that down. And I'm thinking before I keep adding and adding, I'm going to ink some edges and see how that makes me feel about it. I'll put this bee kind of going the other direction from the butterfly. Not as dimensional. I suppose I could have stacked a few up. But I was definitely thinking about the green ink around the edges. I think that might just bring everything to life. And this is the peeled paint Distress Inked Tim Holtz Ranger. And it was sent to me by Wanda Ford down in Nova Scotia. One of our swaps, our Easter journal swaps. Yeah, that's given it some real depth and dimension. I'm thinking I might want to restamp or do something with that lavender. I'm going to ink the back in the green as well. So you can use the back for journaling on. I don't put a great big stamp with a whole bunch of information on the back of my cards. I use them more like a calling card. So I just put my artist trading card label and my signature and date. I figure anyone that's trading with me knows who they got it from. What I do when I get an artist trading card is I have the clear vellum, see-through vellum sticky notes, and I put one of those on the back side of the card that I receive with the person's information, contact information, so that if I want to contact them to do another swap or send them happy mail in the future, or if I just want to know where it came from because I like it, then I can have their information. Because sometimes you can't read people's, like you wouldn't know necessarily, other than this thing that says Thistledew Creations, you wouldn't know my name by my signature. I'm doing it more to promote Thistledew Creations than Judy Greer. So then I take my fine tipped pen, and I think I will do it in black. And usually just beside the little label here, I'll do my signature and the date, just the year, 25. And so just give that a little bit more green. And then, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking that it needs something. Maybe. Can't really see the bow, so maybe I'll just outline the bow in black. Add a couple of little lines to it. And just fill in here where it's kind of disconnected and do some outlining. Can't do much about fixing the lavender without making a mess of it. I might be able to stamp it again. Probably won't get it in the same spot, but if I just get more lavender flowers, that might make me happy enough. So I'm just stamping the top part where the flowers are. And I'm going to have to tilt it a little bit away from that butterfly, so that might be good because I might get these in slightly different spots. You see, I'm going to just sort of put this one right beside the other one. Just give me more lavender. Yeah, and that darkened it up. So that makes me happier. And it's a fuller bouquet. So I'll have to remember that when I'm stamping the other ones, is that I could stamp it 2 or 3 times to make that bunch of lavender fuller. It's going to be hard to get a good impression with the butterfly there. So I'll have to remember to do that first. And then the bee, he could almost benefit from a little bit of shading or something too. So I'm going to go into my drawer that has, I've got watercolor pencils that I haven't played with yet. So maybe I'll take the dark brown one here and go underneath. It's kind of reddish. I might need to use a different shade. We'll see what this one gives us first, and then we'll go from there. I've got a little brush here, and I'm just going to get some water. That's not at all the color I wanted. It's like a reddish brown. But let's see. Yeah, that's not at all what I wanted. I don't know if I can blot that away. This one. Now the paper's squishy. First time I've ever played with these. I probably should have practiced before I tried to do it on a piece of art, but it does make the bee stand out a little bit. It's kind of pinkish, so maybe the next ones will be better on that, but I'm kind of overall happy with the general layout of it. So let's make a second one and see how it comes out. First thing I think I want to change is maybe not putting the music all over. I'll put the music just up at the top. Maybe that's a mistake. Do it down at the bottom too. And it's not sitting flat on the table, I guess. There we go. Now it's a little darker than I would have liked, but that's all right. Trying to craft when I'm tired. Okay, stamping first for sure. And we're going to play around with this lavender. Maybe I'll ink that bow in black. So we'll do it in this corner this time. Still not giving me a very good. Now, one person that I saw that was doing it on top of stamping on top of a pile of tissues and stuff, and that apparently helped it make contact everywhere. Let me try that. I'm going to leave the bow, but I'm going to add more green down at the bottom because my that part of the stamp didn't do very well. And let's move the flowers to the left a little. It's given me lots down at the bottom, but not right up by the bow. I might have to fill that in with something. Now, one thing, my stamp isn't sticking all the way down to the block, so that might be part of the problem. I'm not re-inking the bow every time. I'll move this up just a bit. Yeah, so that has a lot more presence, and then it's filled in those stems for me. So I will go back and just outline that bow again with my black marker. Add some little creases. And I don't feel the need to do the black lines anywhere else. That's good. I'm gonna ink. do like what the green ink does to the look. I don't often ink with any colors. I usually just ink with vintage photo or ground espresso. But when I see people post things with colored ink, I always go, oh, that's pretty. So I thought I would try to force myself to do it today. Did a little bit of it in my Easter journal. Okay, and then a butterfly, a flutterby, a little bit paler. That's a whole lot easier than trying to paint them. This is a different butterfly. Same size, but a little bit different shape. So that's why none of the cards ever turn out exactly the same as the others, because I'm always just alternating the position of things. I'm going to put the butterfly down at the bottom. I'm going to put the bee up top. It's a lot of glue for a little bee. And since I've got napkins out, I still can't see him very well. So actually, maybe I should let that dry before I try to work on it. What I was thinking was I would do just an outline. Color in his body, maybe. That's better color. Let's see how it spreads around with the water. Yeah, it gives it more of a shadowy look. I just had the wrong color the first time, that's all. So similar but different. They're still very pretty. Now the other bees are not gold, so what will I do to them? Paint them? Or ink them? I have some gold metallic paint here. Let me see how they paint up. This is just Folk Art brand metallic, number 660, pure gold, and it's the metallic series. It has this little diamond on the cap. And it doesn't even feel like it's been opened. What will I use for a palette here? Piece of scrap card is all we need. Lord knows I've got a few pieces. This would have been a perfect time for me to try embossing. But this is quick and easy, so might need a couple of coats though. Way too much paint out. Pardon my reach. I like that touch of gold. And I have silvery, glittery paint, but to me, these should be gold, or, well, they're usually black and yellow, right? But yellow's too bold. Gold is just nice. So that's pretty good. Do a couple more and let them, by the time I've got a few more painted, that one will be dry and ready to use. So just off on a small tangent here. I really should have looked through my die cuts. I've got a whole bunch of die cuts made and sorted into little pouches. Probably have something else that I could have used, like dragonflies or something. Maybe for the next batch. That's looking pretty good, actually, compared to the others. The other ones are more textural. They kind of are a ribbed metallic paper. Just nice to play on your day off. It's Thursday. I have to work all weekend, so I'm home today and tomorrow. So this is my weekend, and it's nice because I'm home alone. I get to play without being interrupted. I worked late last night, worked until 8 o'clock, so I don't get home until almost 9. And so I slept in a little bit, but I had phone calls coming in at the crack of 9 o'clock. Got me up and going. Work phone calls. Don't really ever get a full day off. There's always something. There, those are pretty. I think they will work. So let's do, I didn't put my backer on that one. I like to keep them done up as I go. So I usually just do a little zigzag of the craft glue, and then I'll set it down and just move it back and forth a couple of times, and eventually it kind of catches. It doesn't want to move anymore. But it spreads the glue around on the back of the little label too. And then I'll do my signature, which is pretty hard to duplicate. And let's see about number 3. Still feels a little bit damp. Okay, so music first. And I am liking that, even though it kind of obscures the fact that it's floral in the background. Doing it anyway. And let's see how it does when it's on a stack of napkins. I don't have any more blank ones, but I can put them underneath. Let's see if that helps it sort of make contact everywhere. I think that was the idea. That did seem to work. And then this, I'm still going to want to do this a couple of times, I think. Put the black on the bow. And then the green field paint on the stems. Almost seems like I'm taking it off of the stamp. And this one, let's do one right in the middle. Not really like me, but I'm more of an off to one side kind of gal. That's a nice dark print. Maybe that paper towel trick is a good one. So I'm not going to redo the bow. I'll touch it up with the marker because I don't want a double image. But I'll add more purple and more green. And I'll move it to add so there's more flowers, not just darker flowers. I like that. And then for the bow itself, I'm going to just kind of ad-lib the shape and a couple of little creases. And then for our butterfly, we use the old purple Ling Palace. And sometimes I'll go back and add glitter on top of things like this, and I may still. Sometimes when I really get in the groove, I do a lot of that and they just turn out so pretty. Let's see if I've got some really pale glitter. So I'm going to put the butterfly coming up from the bottom. And I'll put the bee up in this corner. And they're good and dry. Dry enough. I should be using my tweezers for this. I'm having an awful time trying to train myself to use my tweezers. Instead of getting my hands all dirty, gluey. And have him balanced over here. And I'll take this watercolor pencil. At least on the one side, like a shadow. That still might get some glitter on top of it. These I just print out on coffee dyed paper, like a whole sheet of them, like off the computer, and then just cut them up with my ripple scissors. I thought about ordering some stickers, but I don't really want them to be stickers. I want them to be paper. So I don't know. I'd have to try to find some stickers that were not shiny if I was going to do them, order them. But I like the rippled edge anyway. And sometimes I ink the edges of them too. There's 3. Oh, might as well keep going. They're pretty. I don't know if they're exactly what I had in mind, but they're certainly pretty. One more. There it is. And they're much flatter now too. So let's do these 3 in a more of a mass make fashion. Because I don't think I want to drastically change what I'm doing. I just want to kind of do them now. So keep with my gray ink first. That just needs a little trim. So there's one. This will just be slightly quicker, doing them like this. And that kind of roughs up my ink pad a little bit, but that one doesn't get used very much. And it is still nice and subtle. That first one was a little darker. And then we're doing our flowers next. Lavender by Alina Craft, O2 inks from Temu. I think I got these for about $6 each, maybe a little less. I bought them all on a sale. Didn't buy them all at once. Bought them kind of one at a time to get them on the sale price. Go back over to the right here for another one. And what I'll do though is I'll make it different than the first one. I'll place the other items in different spots. I think those stems are good, so I'm not going to re-ink the stems. I'm just going to re-ink the flowers and just put more flowers in between the other flowers. I'm going to try a third one, a third stamping of the lavender, just to make it a nice bushy bouquet. I love lavender. And that bow doesn't even need much this time. It was a good print. And then let's go ahead and ink our edges while I just sort of ponder the placement of the bee and the butterfly. one corner that didn't really round very well. Let's see if I can fix that. You see that little notch there? It wasn't seated properly in the corner. Oh, I was able to fix it. Sometimes you can't, but I was able to. That's good. Lovely. A little butterfly. So, I'm not doing all the steps to all the cards. I guess that's okay. I do what I want to. I missed a corner there. This glue's getting just a little low. And I might want to add some acetone to it today. It's feeling a little goopy. So I'm going to put the butterfly down low this time because it was up high on the last one where the flowers were off to the right. And then I'll put my bee coming in from the top. I think I'll go ahead and do another set after this, maybe with dragonflies. I haven't done dragonflies lately. And I can definitely see myself adding a little more sparkle to those bees. In those little holes, it's just gluey. I'm surprised that purple ink isn't reacting a bit more when I add this water. It doesn't seem to be. So there's the two where the flowers are on the right. So they're still different, which I like. Same but different. So two more to do. Let's do them together, I think. Try to remember to do both of them. And that paint, it's a shame I put so much paint out. Maybe I'll do some purple or gold butterflies or something, or paint something else gold before I finish crafting today. So my flowers first. You need a good flat surface to ink to stamp on. Three different kinds of ink here. We've got O2 ink for the purple, for the lavender. We've got archival ink for the bow, and we've got regular distress ink for the stems. And I guess the archival is not reacted with water. Like you can get it wet, it doesn't smear. I think the O2 is very reactive. So like if you sprinkle water on it, it's going to leave little bubbles. And if you, I'm not sure about the distress ink, how much it is affected by water. Maybe I'll do a little testing. Ink up the other, do the other one first, and then I'll go back and do another pass for both of them. Do another one right in the middle. The stems didn't come out very good on that one, so I will ink up and do more purple and more stems. And I'm going to move it. There's still a little bit that needs to be filled in. Excuse me. Do that one more time. A nice thick bouquet. So don't be afraid to play with your stamps like this. If the original isn't a full enough bouquet, you can make it fuller by just moving the stamp a little ways to the other direction. I'm going to do that one a third time as well. Very good. Put those lids on, so probably done with them. And stamp up 2 more butterflies. And that one has a little section that needs to be punched out. There it goes. I like these wood things because they already have dark edges. They must be for how they cut them out. Gives them a dark edge. I would think it's some sort of a CNC machine. This one must have been stuck down to something before. Might have been stuck on the envelope that they came in. And I rescued it. It's one of the things I always asked for in Happy Mail requests and swaps was die cuts, but now I have my own die cut machine. So maybe what I'll do next today is get that out and play with it. I haven't played with it in an awful long time. I walk past it every day. Someone was asking about this particular machine that I have in a post on Facebook the other day, so I wanted to see how it worked. I filmed a video when I first got it, but I didn't know what I was doing. So now I have a little bit better idea. I still don't know all the tricks, but what do you think? Do you like it better with or without the green ink? Tell me in the comments. I'm still going to ink them, but yeah, just always interesting to see what someone else would have done. I know when I'm watching someone else create something online, I'm usually yelling at them, do that, do this. No, no, not there. Put it over on the angle. Put it on the corner. I know they can't hear me. I don't say anything in the comments unless they ask, because I don't like to criticize people. But if they're asking for your opinion, then they must want it. So I usually will answer if I'm watching and they ask a question. It's always nice to interact with the people that you watch. Especially us smaller YouTubers who have time to answer you. There. And I didn't do any of the watercolor pencil, so let's do that on both of them. Just kind of a shadow underneath them. And on this one, very good. I'll put my little labels on the back. So if you're watching this video, it'll probably be airing in June 2025. If you're watching this video and you'd like to swap for one of these, make a comment. We'll get hooked up talking on Messenger, and if I still have them, we can trade for these ones, and if I don't, I've always got something else. Always have a box of them ready to trade. Sometimes it's nice to trade for one that you watched being made. Okay, so let's just lay them out here so we can take a look, see what we made. I don't want to put things too far away because I'm not finished crafting, but get them out of our way so we have to take a picture. So 6 the same, but all different. And those bees are not showing up enough for me, so I'll probably go back and give them some more glitter. Or something. Maybe some inking. I'm not sure. Let me know what you would do, and look forward to hearing from someone that wants to trade. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, but most of all, have a great day and happy crafting.